been a while since I posted a video, and it's because I've adopted this wait-and-see attitude. Boy, did I get a lot of emails and comments from people who said, now we're going to get you whenever the change of power took place in Congress and the Senate. Yes, Democrats were voted in, and Democrats were voted in great numbers, and that's the beauty of this political system. The people who have the best publicity and the best publicists get the votes, and that's obvious that this year, and now you may say that I'm just a paranoid Bushist or whatever you want to call me, but the media did such a good job of making George Bush unpopular that it spread over into not just George Bush, but all Republicans. Not just all Republicans, but any conservatives. Not just conservatives and Republicans, but anyone who doesn't believe exactly what we tell them to believe, which has been the gist of my argument from the beginning of this whole thing. You are going to listen to whatever you want to listen to. And if you listen to the news media, which I consider to be totally liberal biased, then you're going to believe that you should never trust Republicans, you should always vote for Democrats, and that's exactly what happened. Okay. So now that new Congress and new Senate has started, and Nancy Pelosi went right in and said, this is a new day, and I'm the first woman speaker, and I'm the most powerful woman in the world, and hear me roar, and blah, blah, blah. And it became the Nancy Pelosi show for a few days rather than a solidified Democrat Party. So now there's a sick person involved, so there's not really a big, strong majority. And we're about to vote on whether we should pull out of Iraq completely, and it's going to take 12 of those hated Republicans to come across the aisle before that'll happen. Now, that's not going to happen very easily, if it happens at all. It's created this huge backlash of Republicans and conservatives who have called the Republican Party and said, if you expect any more money from me, then you better not vote that way. And to Republicans in general, if you want this party to be well funded, you're going to have to tell these 11 senators who are about to cross the aisle, they better not, or they spell the end of the financial flow to the Republican Party. So there's this huge, I don't know, maybe in there. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If we want to stay where we are, we won't. If we want to do what is politically correct, we will. So this whole thing has to do with being politically correct. We've turned ourselves into a nation of pussies. We're afraid to say Negro. We're afraid to call someone an Indian if they're Native American. We don't even know what to call people from the Asian community because we don't know if they're Chinese or Japanese or Korean. I mean, when I say we, I'm saying the basic American person. I don't think you can look at an Asian person and tell where they're from. And do we offend someone by calling them Asian? Maybe they should say, I'm Chinese and I want you to know that, rather than be offended, but they don't, and so we may be offending people. So we don't even know what to say when we address the Asian community. And the same goes on and on and on. What do we call this kind of person? How do we address this kind of person? What do we say to that guy or that guy? What about women? Do we open the door for them anymore? Or would that make us an absolute sexist monster? We've become so politically correct that we won't do certain things simply because we don't want other people to see us doing them. Even if it's our strongest conviction, we won't do it because we are a nation of pussies. So votes are about to be made based upon what we want people to think of us rather than what our strong convictions are. And this is what the whole game is all about. I think if you are an American today, you're afraid to say what you really mean. I'm not. I support President Bush, and I think in the long run you're going to find out that regardless of what the media hype is, regardless of what the frenzy that it stirs up makes people think and say, President Bush is going to stand by what he said, and we are going to continue the war in Iraq. There has never been a war that's been won by insurgents. And if you think this insurgent thing is new, you're crazy. Look back in your history to what happened after World War II. There were a group of Nazis who continued to believe in their Nazi party and created a secret underground insurgent force that thought they were going to keep things rolling, but that didn't roll. We're still in Germany today after World War II. We're still in Japan after World War II. We're still in Korea after the 1950s. Why now, all of a sudden, is it so wrong that we finish what we started in the Middle East, particularly Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan? What's it going to hurt for us to stay there and help to stabilize a nation? You bitch about right now 3,000 soldiers dying, 3,000 civilians dying during 2001, and now somebody from the Democrat Party yesterday had the audacity to come out and say, oh, that's not a big number of losses, so it's not a big deal. We shouldn't continue, based on the fact that it wasn't enough dead people yet. Here in the past few months, it's been, look how many people are dying, look how many soldiers are dying needlessly for this stupid-ass war in Iraq. Yet now he comes out and says, oh, it's no big deal because it's not a huge number. You know, maybe if it was more, we could keep doing this, but since it's not a big number, let's just quit. Bullshit. What do we gain by staying there? Well, you're going to argue that it's oil. The big oil companies are going to, and Bush and his buddies are going to all get together and be happy. I don't want to hear that shit. That's not what this is all about. Here's the numbers of people dying. Hundreds of thousands of people dying because Saddam Hussein said, go kill them. So now 3,000 Americans died over there because we together as a nation said, let's go over there and do this. And because it's not politically cool anymore, those same people who voted for it are now saying, well, I just didn't have good information back then, and oh, shame on me for being fooled, and fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on the world, shame on George Bush. That damn George Bush causes all of these problems. Well, I'm sorry. I believe George Bush is going to stick to his plan. We're going to complete what we started in Iraq, Afghanistan. They are going to be a better nation for it. They're going to be people who are more comfortable in their lives, not worried about people killing them in their sleep because they're of a different religion or different sect of a particular religion. And I'm sorry if it pisses everyone off because that's what I believe, but that's truly what I believe. So that's all I've got to say about that for now.